Everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video we're gonna talk about camera. Have you ever wished to be able to buy a lot more than just 10 or 20 safe or fixed camera using the FS2020, and you want to customize all of the camera as much as you want for your YouTube or your for enjoying the view while flying without have to open the menu and then you have to select the view, kind of distracting, right? So I'm going to talk about how you can bind more than 59 camera view inside FS2020 using LVAR and Spad.next in my case. I'm also using Fenix a320 as an example, but actually you can bind or you can do it in any other aircraft, and also you can use other application, not only limited to Spad.next, but as I'm only familiar with Spad.next at this moment, I'm going to showcase the how to using Spad.next. Okay, so hopefully this video might help you make your experience fluent while you're flying. You can use your controller or any keyboard or any other special function buttons to select your view during the flight. Okay, so without further ado, let's dive in. Okay, before we go into the programming or setting up the controller itself, this is the Excel file that I've put in my Google Drive that you can access in the link below in the descriptions. Actually lists down the variables and the type of view that is correlated with that LVAR. Okay, so you can get this information from the SDK developer website, but I think it's quite somewhere deep down in the website. Anyway, so let's take a look. I'm using, by the way, in changing this or manipulating this camera, there's actually two ways. First of all, you can use your custom safe cockpit camera. I think you already know about it, but the problem with that is only limited to 10 while you save. So the other way around is additionally you can also do a custom camera using a fixed camera, also instrument camera, and other many other things. So the fixed camera for the showcase, at least they have a 17 camera, right? So you can customize that camera positions. I'll show you how to, and then also then bind it into your, and all of it, 17 of them. I mean, FS2020 only provide around 10 bindable fixed camera. Now you can bind almost 17 of them directly to your controller, but you have to have some way to access LVAR or the variable directly via SIM connect. You can use Spad.next, you can use Axis and OMS, and then also you can use FSU IPC directly. Anyway, let's talk about it later on, but let's focus on the variable itself. So here, the Excel file that I put in Google Drive, and the link below, there is 4 variables involved in the camera setting inside FS2020. Let's say the pilot view, for example. On the pilot view, there is normal, close, landing, and co-pilot at least. I think there are some other, but this is the common one. So for normal view, there is a variable called camera state. If you look into your software or application on accessing the LVAR, like Spad.next, you can find this camera state. The value is a number ranging from 0 to 8, I think. But the one that being used here, at least 2 to define the pilot view, mostly cockpit view, are beginning with 2. The external beginning with 3, and then the showcase or drone camera beginning with 4, free camera drone beginning with 4, and the fixed camera showcase beginning with 5, and the custom cockpit safe beginning with 2 also. So mostly the cockpit view are beginning with 2. The other variable involved is actually the camera substate. So other than camera state, there is a camera substate. So there's a secondary variable set being used. For example, the pilot view 2, and the camera substate is 1. Instrument view is camera state 2, and then the substate is 5. Similarly, the quick view, and this is the cockpit quick view, camera state 2, camera substate 3, and the custom view, safe view, camera state 2, camera substate 1. So it's a combination of it, and there's another 2 more variables to be set, actually, to be inputted to be able to really dial into the specific camera view. So here, for example, pilot view normal, you have to set camera state, camera substate, and camera view type and index 0, and camera view type index 1 to 111, and then pilot view close to 110, pilot landing view to 112, and then the co-pilot view, your first officer position will be to 115. So by setting this variable, 4 of them in sequence, at least in the same time, then you are able to the simulator will go into this view, specific view. So that's how it works. So let's say you want to access your instrument view, which is the first one, indicated by number 0, for example. Depending on your files, though, I'm using a custom file from Axeldude that you can find in flightsim.2 for Fenix a320 to play around. So the good thing with this camera configuration, actually put inside the community folder, rather than you accessing the main application folder or the main source. You are confined into quite a safe area, at least in the community folder. So you can change that, or if you don't like it, you just delete that file or move that file out from the community, and then you go back to the original Fenix a320 or your original camera. For example, for Fenix a320, the camera has I think some for other aircraft, someone have created the community file based camera.config file, so you can play around in that community folder rather than in the direct source of the aircraft itself, the file in the folders of, I think it's a local cache, sim object, airplane, and so on. So that is the direct file inside the application. So it's kind of more if you don't know the way around, you might you might kind of damage a file, and then you are unable to get the right one. So anyway, so let's say you want to have the instrument view. This one might be differ from I already customized the view. So there's 2 stages. This is accessing the view itself for binding to your controller, and the other step is actually modifying the coordinate of the view. Okay, so I already show you in another video on how to modify that. You can click the link down below on my previous previous video, on how to modify the camera angle. So this time we're going to bind all of this camera actually to my controllers. I'm going to show you later on. So yeah, this one is pedestal 25225. So whatever instrument view here, you can access directly through LVAR rather than the key press. So one way is actually by emulating the key press. For this one is okay because it has a keyboard shortcut, right? So you can emulate this keyboard shortcut using your controllers or whatever, so you can emulate the pressing of the keyboard from your controllers. But for quick view, for pilot view, for external view, external quick view especially, and then this camera fixed camera showcase, only 10 of them. The rest is not able to be accessed through keyboard or through controller from FS 2020 configuration. So you can now access all of them directly from your controllers. So all of this can be bind into your controller, so you can really access each of this view easily. Okay, however, there's several kind of non-ideal situation, especially when you move from, so in FS 2020 there's three category of big category, which is the cockpit view, most of the cockpit view inside the cockpit or airplane, and the second category is external view, so that's really looking outside the aircraft only, and the third category is a drone or a showcase camera, where it is actually like, you know, another type of camera other than external. So those three types of big category, when you move from one mode to another mode, sometimes there's a glitch where, you know, you going back into the kind of like default state first, and then you have to press again to go to the next target view that you want to. Okay, so but that's something that at this moment I cannot find the way around, so I'm kind of make a bit of adjustment by double selecting it. So it's kind of like transition to the default first, and then goes automatically goes into the next target camera that I want to. So this is the way around it, but it's not ideal, but it's quite similar, so quite okay. You can see it later on in the demonstration. So yeah, so this is all the camera shortcut, sorry, the camera view that you can access through this LVAR combinations, including this fixed camera showcase, which has 17 of them. Default camera inside FS 2020, there's a wing view, there is on top of the vertical stabilizer view. What else? And you can create something. For example, I've also put the camera files in the Google Drive, so you can copy that actually from Axeldude. I have to thank him for providing this, but I've managed to customize all the coordinates and the angle, the heading, the whatever required to be able to create this view. So for example, this fin view is vertical on top of the vertical stabilizer view, as usual. Is very common in modern aircraft, have a external view camera on the real one, and there's another one for left engine, right engine. This is you can access directly when you want to see the engine starting up, for example, or underbelly. This is a bit closer when the gear are lowered, for example. This is looking forward, so underbelly looking forward, and nose gear is looking at the nose gear a bit lower, looking backward, okay, looking to the aft. And then underbelly far, so it's a wider angle, so you can see the whole wingtip from behind when trying to land, for example. That's very nice to see. And there's a classic left wing window, right wing window. This one will show your flap lowered or retracted and spoilers up, kind of those things. Those two are now accessible directly. Left front and right front, when you see the engine nacelle, when the engine reverse are opening or closing, for example, you can see that now from this window seat. And there's a rear top view, so I created a rear top view where I behind the aircraft, I kind of like see the aircraft from a bit from the rear to the aircraft below. So it's kind of like yeah, a God's view kind of things. So yeah, so that is have several view that there's some typo here. So that is several camera angle. Even we can program like the middle seat, because A320 Fenix A320 have a fully modeled passenger cabin, so you can see it in the middle seat, and then looking inside if you want to see the non-smoking or the seat belt sign going on, light up, sorry. So you can pretend sitting in the seat, and then you look upward, and the lights is actually simulated also. And I have a passenger view from front looking off and looking forward, so it's very nice to simulate the simulations. And the custom view also I already created here. I will upload also mine because I've created like wide right view from the captain seat, but not so I'm creating an angle so it's look more natural from the head point of view of the captain to see on the right side, left side, and then even the middle front right seat. So I'm creating the like the third pilot seat, cockpit, first officer left view. So I can use all this custom save only for cockpit now, because I already have other external view accessible directly rather than using the custom view. So I can now focusing my custom save cockpit view only for the cockpit. So left cabin door area, dash cam, GoPro left captain view from the left side of the head of the captain, and dash cam after looking backward. Of course, unfortunately there's no pilot model inside, so you look at the empty seat from the dashboard. So anyway, so it's very fun creating this, and I have now access all this view, including a very nice external view, like from left of the aircraft, from rear right of the aircraft, front aircraft, top, even this quick view now accessible through my controllers. Okay, so my button box, and there's a lot of things here and it's very interesting one. Anyway, so you might want to check out the file yourself, and I just want to go directly on showing you how to program it. Okay, so I've opened my Spad.next now just to show you some of them, not all of them. So what happens is that I created a 3 button here. This one, this 3, and 29, 30, 31. So I have like almost 35 button box that I created using MMJoy. So this one is my camera view selection button box. So you can use other things like, you know, the expensive LCD one. You can use that one also. I have that one, but I'm not using it here. I mean using Stream Deck, for example, Stream Deck button box. That's very nice. I have one, the XL one, but I'm not using that one here. I'm using my DIY button box. I'll show you later on in the video. There's almost like 34 31 times, yeah, so 35 button at least in the button box. So I put number 29, 30, 31 as the selector. So what happened is that when I select this button, number 1 here, I'm setting the cam status. Cam status is my local variable, so I created a local variable here called cam status. So it's actually this one is the local variable, so you can see this is local, so I'm only available for this profile of the aircraft. This is not FS 2020 variables, it is my own variables that I can use to check something. So I'm creating this cam status for my own purposes. So if I press this button, it will be 1, and then if I press this second button, it will be 2, and then the cam status will be 3. So this 3 button will define the category of the view that I can bind into my other button box. So if, let's say, 1 is my cockpit view, so if I press this button, so the cam status will be equal to 1, right? So let's say I'm using this camera for accessing cockpit using the save custom save menu. So here a bit complicated, so you might want to copy. So if the cam status is 1, I'm setting my variable first into for the interior of the cockpit view, but for the safe cockpit view. So 2117, remember the variable in the Excel sheet. So it's 2117, and then I press Alt 1 to access custom safe 1 cockpit view. So this is how I ensure that it is why I'm doing this, because if I move from, let's say, external view, I want to be sure that when I press Alt 1, it's already in the cockpit view mode. So I'm setting the cockpit view mode first and then press the Alt 1 after that. So if you press Alt 1 in the external view, it won't happen, you know, nothing happens because it's not recognized because it is in the external view. How you do it before manually is that you press press N button in your keyboard. It will back and forth between cockpit and external view, right? Once you in the external view, you want to go back, you press N first, N key first, and then you press Alt 1 inside the cockpit. So that sequence has been automated here anyway. So if I was in the cockpit, I can press this one without problem because this doesn't change anything, because this press actually setting this to 117 already. But if you are from external view, if you press let's say the number 3 key, which is the 29 here, which is setting the external mode, then when I press this one, when I press this 3 from the external mode, then when I go back to the cockpit by pressing, I want to go back to the cockpit by pressing the first number, which is cam status 1, and I press my view button, it will directly setting myself into the cockpit automatically. Kind of complicated, but I hope you understand. Anyway, we'll show you later on the demonstration, but this one is the sequence that I have to do. This one is for a showcase camera. So if let's say I put the number 2 here, the button number 3 here is cam status 2. If I want to show a showcase camera in this button, so this button can multifunction. So the same button can do for cockpit, for showcase or drone camera, and the third for external camera. So you can reuse this almost like how many, 28, or yeah, you can put all this 28. I'm not using it. I'm actually using from starting from 10, I guess, to 28 at least. So it's almost like what, 20 something? Yeah, 20 bindable key. You can use that key over and over using this 3 selector. You can use this one for rotary, switch, or push button, no, whatever. So basically when you press this 32, it's actually setting for a mode for the showcase camera. So this button will, if this press this button, if it will check if it's cam status 2, then he will do this. This one is for, as you can see, this 45056 is accessing a showcase camera number 7 actually. Yeah, so it's from 0 to 16. So the actual number in FS 2020 is 1 to 17. So this is accessing number 7 camera in the fixed view automatically. However, to ensure that every time you go from external view or cockpit view going toward the showcase, I'm setting up kind of preliminary, so you have to set up like to the cockpit view, to the showcase view first. It will go to kind of default view. Unfortunately, that's a bug. I cannot find how to go direct into this number 7, but it has to go to default view first, and then after giving a bit of delay, and then press or send this value to go direct to the camera number 7 in the showcase. So it works, at least some glitch a bit in the beginning of the transition of the camera, but it won't show up quite significant. So I'm quite pleased with this setting. At least it's working for me. So I can automatically now switch from external, showcase, cockpit just by pressing two step of a button. First the mode, but if you want to in the, let's say in the cockpit mode, you can press any combination or any key without pressing the mode first. So you just press whatever view you want. But when you want to move from the cockpit to external view or to the showcase or drone view, you have to press the mode, this three button mode first. Okay, because I have limited keypad here or button. If you have like 60 button altogether, you don't have to do that, you just go direct. But yeah, I mean this one, just by checking this cam status, I can divide by 3 category of my button on which section said I'm going to activate the code. So this one activate by cam status 2, this one's by cam status 1, or the cockpit. So this one is for the cockpit using my local variable. So I hope you get my point. It's kind of complicated on the programming, but once you get hang of it, I think it's quite easy to do it. Okay, similarly with the others, I think there's the this one is have 3 option. One, let's see. Okay, this one. So this one has 3 options. So this one is for the cockpit view with the custom save camera. So this is the command. So that will check if the cam status 1. And then this one is for the showcase. It will check for custom status, cam status 2. And then it will do the number 0, fixed camera view or the showcase. And this one is for external view, so cam status 3. It will check if it's external view camera category is selected. It will send this command basically to access external view number 7. Okay, so that's how I use one key to be able to select 3 different view category. Okay, using this 3 button mode. So that's how I created this combinations. It was complicated, but if you have or you don't want to bind many keys, you can just do with a small keypad or a button box. Okay. Okay, so let's demonstrate a bit on how it works inside FS 2020. Okay, now we are inside the A320 cockpit from Fenix. We're gonna take a look on how the key or the controller for the camera works. Okay, so I'll switch on my camera view. This one is my STG button box, so this is DIY. I have almost like 35 buttons here. There's a 10 button in vertical. Usually I use this one for ATC shortcuts in FS 2020, but currently it's not used. So if you take a look, there is a certain button here, around 13 buttons below, and 9 plus 3 button here, or 12 button on top. So what I did is actually I defined this button part here as my button for the cockpit view, usually for inside the cockpit or inside the cabin or whatever. And this one is for the external, the 9 button. The top 3, as I mentioned in the previous sections, this one is the first for the cam status 1, which is the cockpit view. This is for the showcase, and then this one is for the external. So nothing happens because it's just setting a variables. Okay, so let's press this 10. It just set the cockpit variables to 1. Sorry, the cam status to 1, which is the cockpit view or the cockpit area. Now this button, when I press this one, this will react as a cockpit view only button. So most setting here will relate to the cockpit. So if I see this one is for this one is the wide right view from the captain seat, and then this one is for the EFB MAC2 for the captain, and this one is the dual MAC2, so slightly angled, so I can see both MAC2 but slightly angled, so it's much more realistic. This one is slightly angled also for pedestal view, for accessing TCAS or the ATC radio and flaps to see flap, parking brake, and other things. And this one is the PFD. This one is the FCU and ECAM zoom, and this one is for the first officer wide view, and this one is for the overhead, slightly angled, and this one is for the circuit breaker overhead or upper overhead, and this one for the wall. What else? I think this one, yeah, this already pedestal already. I haven't bound this key, I think. Yep, so I will bound. This one is for the EFB for the first officer. So I have most of the cockpit area here are bound, so I can access all of it. Now if I want to further access the cockpit area, I can use the above one to program. For example, this one is for the like almost 120 degree to the left, looking the oxygen mask. Also here, down here I can open. Sorry, this one is the bug for the airport in Jakarta. So for the add-on, I think it's protruding to inside the cockpit, the jetway cover. This one is for the wide left angle of view, so I can see the controller. If I, let's say, if I want to check my check control, flight control, or this one is for the steering, yeah, using the rudder on the joystick, and many more. This one is for sorry, get to check. Yeah, this is 120 degree to the left. This one is the kind of entrance, the first entrance from the cabin door on the front. So I can just, let's say, walk using my cursor and try to look into the passengers and open the door, and let's enter the cockpit. So it's kind of like nice, and you can simulate that and take a look at the gear pins and everything, and take a seat. Let's say we just take a seat here. Now the other view here is actually the third pilot view, just at the center. Usually bring a camera in there. This one is dash cam in front looking forward, and there is a GoPro on the left side of the pilot head, and this one is a dash cam looking back or looking off of the aircraft. So this is whole programs. And I think another one here, this is a cabin view, but different with the assigned one. Later on I'm going to show you. This one is controllable, so I can take a look around. Yeah, it's a bit. And then take a look on the signage. Let's say I put on the seat belt on, or switch off the seat belt, so I can see the simulations. Okay, in the middle seat right now, looking in front. I also have another view from the cabin crew. This one's looking at the jetway, and just look into the passenger area. So that is programmed here for the cockpit interaction mostly. How about the showcase and external view? So if I want to get another angle of view directly from this controller without going into like insert or press N to go to external showcase, I can just press this one first, and then let's see the engine on the right, and directly just one press of a button. And once you get into the showcase area, hold this this button is for all the 17 button of the showcase and more. You can add like the safe camera here also, an external, but I just kind of group it together. So you can see this is the nose gear view, where we can use this for takeoff, and you can see the gear being retracted and leaving the runway behind. This one is for, sorry, engine already, engine left, and then this one is for the underbelly. So this too is still open to be programmed, just under, so it's a underbelly view. This one is a bit further away, like a wide angle underbelly with all the wingtips being seen. This is on top of the vertical stabilizer. This is quite common view. And then this one is I set up for a high altitude, or kind of from afar, high looking downward into the aircraft and the ground. That's very nice view on this one also. But there's a bug actually in Fenix A320. The front skin here in the aircraft is missing, so it's black covered. So from afar it's okay, but you cannot use a showcase camera from up front. That's why I put a nose gear below, because it's really black here. It's not really good. I think there's a bug in the skin. So this one is the high one. So this is external view has been used. This one also can be used for, let's say, cabin. So let's say this one is for the cabin crew seat area, but it's fixed. You cannot change the angle with the mouse with this one. And this one is also the entrance or cabin door, the left cabin door, but you cannot kind of change it. Here you can see the whole alley on the cabin or passenger cabin from the 4 sections toward the back, right? And then you can take a seat, the same seat that I use for the custom seat, but this is fixed, cannot be changed. The window seat also, I'm using the determined coordinates. So let's say if I want to see the left window wing view, I can take a look at this one, and you can show your kind of flap being lowered or retracted and spoiler up. And this one is like slightly up front, so you can have wider view on the right for the landscape, but the engine nacelle, when it's reverse engine engaged, it can be seen also from here. The other one is actually from the other side, the right side, and this is the wing side on the right side, but it's slightly different from this one is slightly from the rear. This one is really on top of the wing, so you can have different kind of setup. And then you can go into the rearmost seat on the left, looking a bit onto the alley and looking forward. Very nice. The cabin light also has been changed using the add-on from FlightSim.2. Very nice. You can change to blue, red, purple, I think, I don't know. Anyway, so it's very nice. So this one is standing up. This one is seated in the rearmost seat. So it's very nice. And what else? I think that's it. So this has been programmed to cover all of the showcase camera that's been programmed into the config file, or the camera config file. Okay, so this is very nice. So how about the external? Now I have another view for external. I can just press this one and let's see the aircraft from the front, for example. So you can see the aircraft from the front. This one is left front, this one is right front, from the left side, right side, from the top, and from the left rear left, rear right, and from behind the aircraft. So you get all the quick view access from the external view, which previously cannot be bind inside FS2020. Now you can do that using the method that I've mentioned to you. So here it is, the how it works. I think you can try to kind of like experiment, I guess, and how you're gonna set up your camera with your controller. So you can use any controllers. This is just mine. I'm using Spad.next, but as I mentioned, you can use your keyboard or your whatever being set up to especially for this. You need more key definitely to be able. Oh, by the way, I bound also the key into my joystick, so I have my joystick also set up let's say for view that usually I access to frequently, quick view, quick rear view, and etc. So I still have more key to bound anyway, but this is more than enough for a you see I don't even access the menu to access the 17 showcase view and external quick view, whatever. So I just access my button box here to be able to view whatever I want from all the key that from all the camera angle that provided in FS 2020. And you can still change the what do you call it, the angle of the camera, the whatever you want to see. Like this one is being programmed into instrument view rather than custom view. This one also is being programmed into a MacDo for first officer slot, so it doesn't no longer occupy the custom safe view. So yeah, it's kind of custom safe view is really being used for those that I've shown you, this one, this one, this one, this one. So I get all the 9 custom view that I can program. It's much more freedom, I guess, in terms of using the custom view. So I have enough now custom view and whatever, and also able to be bound into the controller, so I can access it anytime I want to. Okay, so that's it. Hopefully that you get some idea, and if you have any question you can ask me on the message or DM directly through my email. Okay, so see you next time on the flight with all the custom camera that I've set up.